Good evening and welcome back to the 1927 Club. I am joined by Mr. Rhys David Evans. How are we, sir?
Absolutely landed, but 1927 Club is back.
The boys are back in town.
Back to
I was
normal.
going to try and get that as the intro, because that intro music, we still got to get that sorted. So get it sorted, buddy. We need something a bit better than that. But yes,
Either have that or return to the Mac.
Yes. But no, all's good. How's tricks, buddy? Okay?
Yeah, not bad. Just a bit of a late one tonight.
It is a bit of a late one, and that's my fault. I hold my hands up. Picked up an overtime shift in work. Holidays coming up, so grabbing at the moment. But yes, so we won't keep you all night, but we'll just see how it goes, is it?
Yeah, well, I know Jonathan will be watching because is it 5 a.m. he's doing on security tonight?
I don't know.
I think he's
not very good security if he's watching two Cardiff fans talking crap on a podcast, is it?
Well, as long as nothing gets nicked, that's all that matters, isn't it?
He's in the chat already. He needs a 7-hour podcast. I'm not promising anything, John, but we should do a sponsored one, shouldn't we? For a charity. But I would imagine that'd be quite hard work. But yes, let's dive straight into the comments and see what we got in the house. Jason, good evening, buddy.
Is that Jason that goes to football with us, or
pass? Jason Jones.
That's his name. I don't know if that's the one that goes with us or not.
Sales, good evening. Jonathan, evening, buddy. How's your shift going? Mark Cox, good evening. Do you want to say that name better, or do you want me to say it?
Go on.
Good evening, how are you, buddy? You never live that one down, not staying forever, innit?
I had a few drinks that night. I don't know if you remember, but I was a bit tipsy, like.
Sue says, hey, I done a first for me, cast from my phone to my... Lost you now, Sue. Jonathan's down in Swansea Bay Studios till 5 a.m. Living the dream. All your tyres are still on your car by the time we come out, buddy.
Is that the one by Amazon, Jonathan? Is that the one by Amazon? I'm sure I've gone past it plenty of times. Blue sign outside.
Evening, Matt and Rhys. How's it going? And Hat, I think he's missed a C out to that unless he's having checking how your hat is doing. But
it's not bad.
Evening,
not bad.
How's tricks, buddy? Jason Jones says no, mate. So
right, just different Jason
then. Stephen Morgan, good evening, buddy. Hope you're well. John Watkins, good evening, my friend. Paul's not saying hello to your hat. He did mean chat. Jonathan does say yes by Amazon.
I know the one.
Question for you both. Do the Cardiff women's team use the same pitches as the City team? If so, are they picking up injuries?
I don't know, John. I don't think they play on the...
I don't think they play as regular on Cardiff City Stadium, but obviously they do play games there. And I'm not going to lie to you, Gray, I wouldn't have a clue. I think I've been down to watch one of the start again. Been down to watch one of the women's games, so I wouldn't like to say too much, mate, to be honest.
I don't know. I know the other 21s and stuff use it now and again, don't they? For free entry for people, but yeah. I don't know if the women use it.
And again, I've been down to watch a couple of them 21s games. Taken Josh to the dentist and then accidentally landed in Cardiff. Don't know what happened there.
Well, I know back in April, we did, me and the other Jason then, did a stadium tour at the Cardiff City Stadium. And we went to the change rooms and the ladies' team was in there all getting changed and stuff. So we quickly left sharpish. But I don't think they were doing promos and stuff there for sponsors and stuff. But I don't know where they play. I don't know if it's across the road in the sports stadium where the other friendlies. Not too sure though.
Not too sure. It's something we'll have to do a bit of research on, just so we're catering for everybody's needs, Rhys, I think. We'll do a bit of research. Joan, hi guys, cheers me up. England being pasted around Birmingham in the cricket. Yeah, I think were they chasing something like 600? I don't know if you're a cricket lover, Rhys, but I'd watch it. 608, I think they were chasing, and I think they finished the day on something like 74 for 3, I think. Our resident Irish follower is in. Evening, Jeff. Hope you're well, buddy. Paul says he's sure that they train up in Llanrumney. I can't get my words out tonight. Who's this experienced winger we're talking to then? Come back to that one in a bit. Is that the one they're on about? It's related to Conor McGregor.
Oh, God knows.
I wouldn't say he's experienced then, no, if that's the one. My money's on... Well, I don't even know what to say.
Diagana and Malik Wilkes.
Good evening, all. Right, so I thought we'd start the podcast off as we do. I'm guessing not many people have seen him at a rant for a while, mate. But what's your opinions? I know the answer, but I'm just stirring the pot by now. Obviously, the fixtures were announced, and obviously there's been some changes to said fixtures, or at least the times. You tamping, fuming, raging, buddy?
Sky can go fuck themselves. I fucking hate Sky, honestly. I get why is Port Vale from a Saturday to a Thursday night? Why Thursday night of all things? As I mentioned earlier, my boss in work, she does a lot with the supporters and the travelling supporters and things. And apparently Stoke City are home on the Saturday, and I don't think they wanted be too much to police. A couple of thousand Cardiff fans going up there as well. How true that is, I don't know. But again, a Sunday, or Friday night. Why a Thursday night, midweek? They know if people are going to go to work on a Friday morning. Again, it's just Sky trying to fuck people up again. Sky doing it, hoping that no one will go and everyone will pay to watch it on TV instead. Honestly, Sky can fuck themselves.
It's all money, mate, and it's. I can't remember seeing many League One games played on a Thursday last year. I might be completely wrong. Obviously, it wasn't a league that I was following much of last year, but I don't know if anybody in the chat can answer that. But it's not your typical fixture date, is it? Type of thing.
No, but I mean, I don't think Burnham City on TV much last year, were they? It's always the Championship and the Premier League. I mean, it's not Premier League, so the Championship is always the big ones on there. So I can't imagine League One's going to be a big thing for Sky TV. It's ridiculous.
But you look at it then, out of our first 7 or 8 games in all, I think we worked out it was 7 games, was it? Potentially 8 with this Virtue Cup or whatever.
Yeah.
And then 3 of them games are on Sky in the first month. So it's, yeah.
Hopefully that's it though. Once them games are done, there's no more big games for us to put on TV, so it's just back to 3 o'clock kickoffs on a Saturday. But it is ridiculous. I mean, we said about the fixture list now, but don't forget if we beat Swindon, there's a second game in the Carabao Cup. That's usually 2 or 3 weeks after it. There's going to be the Virtual Cup started last year, I think 20th, we looked earlier, 20th of August, so that'll probably be in between the Plymouth and Luton games. They say that you're not fully fit until the first 10 games are gone. The first 10 games could be within the first 6 to 8 weeks, really. It's ridiculous. It's wild.
Yeah. Question you, is Port Vale away the first potential banana skin game? I think they're all going to be banana skins, especially... I don't know whether, I'm not sure if I asked you or somebody else, or Simon perhaps, Peterborough at home. Do you think there'll be more pressure on the players to perform and win at home rather than there would have been if it was Peterborough away, for example?
It's a tough one because I think it's easier to play at home with the first game simply because of how bad last season was. I think because last season there was a lot of losses. The first game you want a home one, you want to get the crowd behind you, you want to get it going and pumped up, you want to break that, the losing streak sort of thing. I mean, losing comes a habit. You want to break that as quick as you can. And I think if you play away and it doesn't go right in the first 10 minutes, all of a sudden the home fans at the opposite end, the other team, are going to be all over you. You're going to probably play on your mind and stuff. So I think playing home first it's probably best for us to get the first home game done and dusted. Like, it's get it out the way. Hopefully, you get a big win. I think the last time we played Peterborough at home, I was there. We won 4-0. That was a couple of years ago when we had like Uche and I playing for us and John Hugill. So hopefully another 4-0 win. Set us off right to be landed with that.
I think both of them scored that day as well, didn't they?
Yeah. So my mate went up with us, the Millwall one. He went up with us and he just half-assed applauded. And I think they beat us in 2-1 like a few weeks later, so a few win.
But so obviously a busy month. What's your initial thought then? Obviously they've had a couple of months off now. Obviously they're going to go into pre-season, which starts Wednesday. Am I right in saying Wednesday? They got that Malaysian team out in Spain.
Yeah, that's the first game.
So obviously, and we'll come on to another pre-season because that was one of the other things I wanted to discuss briefly. But obviously, before we come on live, we had a quick discussion around some of the fixtures. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, potentially 8 fixtures in the month of August. Is that you straight into the deep end here?
Again, that's a lot. That's a lot of
fire,
That's a lot of games, isn't it? And the thing is, again, like the first few games, you can't really go Saturday, Tuesday because you will pick up leg injuries and you need squad rotation for that. There's no easy games right now. I think every team will play. Again, every team's going to up their game against us, isn't it? Because we are seen now as a big game. So it's not as if you can have a breather at any point. So I think recruitment is got to be spot on, especially with the mentality. I'm slightly concerned just a bit because we've seen Rolls go, Ramsey go, O'Dowda go. The only 3 leaders we really had in that squad last year, and 3 of them are gone. Part of me is a bit concerned about that, but also part of me is happy to see us getting rid of a lot of deadwood. No offence to her, but a lot of money off the wage book. So we haven't got to sell, if that makes sense. We haven't got to sell big money in because we've cut the wage bill so drastic. So there's that. But yeah, I just think the next 2 or 3 weeks now, we'll probably see 1 or 2 come in, a couple of loans come in.
Are you, obviously, you've been a diehard fan. Are you disappointed that you haven't seen anybody coming in yet? Or are you happy that you trust in the process with the people we kind of let go? That's the way I kind of looking at it at the moment. You would like to think he's got a plan, haven't you? When the people he wants to bring in, obviously he's looking at the individuals that we've already got in the building and perhaps areas that we do need to strengthen. But then I suppose you can see from some fans' point of view that they're frustrated that we haven't done any business when there's other teams out there who are as well, I suppose.
Yes, no, because again, let's just say now he goes out and signs to someone, right? You guarantee half of them fans who are moaning now that we haven't signed someone are going to say, oh, he signed him. What's he done? No one's used this guy before. It's ridiculous. I think he's only been at the door for 2 minutes. He needs time to sit down, see what he's got, see what he's working with. He also probably doesn't know who's going to go yet. There's no point going out and bringing in 4 players on loan and then losing 2 defenders because we've had to let them go. And then there's no cover then to bring them in. So I do think there's a case of him probably going, this is what I'm looking for. I'm going to look at each individual now and pick from that. And again, there's probably stuff going on behind the scenes we don't know about. Talks happening. I just think we've got to be patient. I mean, some fans are ridiculous. Every year it's either we've signed players not good enough, or they're too old, or they're too inexperienced, or we haven't signed someone quick enough. They're never happy. So I just don't pay attention to some of them.
I just wanted to dive back into the comments because there's a couple of comments I wanted to go through. John says, Sky do enable fans who cannot travel to see some away games. The price of the Sky money is them dictating times. 100% agree with you, mate. But I suppose you cannot support Sky. You can stream the games through the Cardiff City channel, can't you? You can subscribe to that. I don't know how much is that these days. Is that 10 a game? Is it something?
Isn't that only for people who live outside the UK though? I think now, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know.
I'm not sure how it works. I remember it was before you had to live outside the UK, but then a lot of people I know got around that by getting a VPN. and it's
I wouldn't
saying
know.
the
I
IP
don't do
address.
any illegal streaming of any kind, mate, so I wouldn't have a clue.
Technically, it's not illegal. It's legal because VPN is just a protection of your IP address. So technically, it's legal and it's a way around it. But there are.
If you've had a laptop imported from China, perhaps it might already be set up for China type of thing. That's a way around it then.
I think it was the Millwall. I think it might be the Millwall game. My mate sent me the clip it was. Millwall fans are chanting, "Fuck off Sky TV. We got dodgy fire sticks and stuff." And there's a full-on chant from the whole stadium while the team was on Sky TV. Brilliant to us.
Love it. Jamie says Peterborough are the cup holders. Tough game. I think they're all going to be tough, mate. I don't think we can go into any game in League One and think we're going to steamroll over teams. I think if we go in with that mindset, and I don't think Barry Murphy will, I think he'll have them fired up for it, in my opinion. I might be wrong, but I don't think we can go into any game next season thinking that we're coming away here with a 2-3-0 victory. Every game is going to be a battle. I
think we have got a bit, not lucky, but I think we have been a bit fortunate with Peterborough because they've just lost 3 or 4 of their first team players. Of their best players as well, like so. Cipriano's gone, Poco's gone. What's the other lad? Ricky J. Jones has gone. They are losing players.
I had a look at that then. Sorry to jump in there. I had a look at that then and think, well, there's somebody below them who's young, hungry, wants to perform. They'll be chomping at the bit to get out there and try and put a performance in. So you've got that as well, haven't you?
But when you lose 4 or 5 of your first key players, it's hard to try and replace them, especially when they've not received any money from them. I think only one of them they've got money for. That's Poku, I think. So
but we're in the same boat with the players that we've, kind of let go then. So it's going to be interesting. Another comment I wanted to bring up. Who's going to partner Salic up top? Atete, ? Thoughts on him? Can he finally come good? He's still in the building, mate. I can't see them two playing together, in my opinion.
I don't think we'll play 2 up top. It'll be 1 up top, 2 wingers, and a 10 behind. Yeah, I don't think we'll play 2 up front.
I don't see them playing. I'd like him, at the end of the day, he's a Cardiff City player. If he can come into the squad and perform, great. Do I see it happening? I don't think so. I think his time is probably done, really, if I'm honest. I'd like to be proven wrong, I really would. And I wish him all the best. I hope he comes in pre-season as a Stormer and it's the ground running in League One. But based on previous performances and like his time out on loan was a disaster last season, I just can't see it happening myself. But I honestly do wish him all the very best.
And again, it's tough as well. You got other players ahead of him. Robinson is still ahead of him. Isaac Davis can play to the middle. He's probably going to be ahead of him. They look like some of the academy players. They're probably thinking they're biting at his heels right now just to get a sniff at first team football there. So again, nothing against him. I love him to come in, score 40 goals, whatever, 25 goals. I can't see him get double figures personally. I think it's time to move on. If it's free, if it's for money, it doesn't matter. I think it's just time to move on. Shake hands and part ways. It's probably for the best now for both of us.
I think most people were shocked that he signed a 2-year deal, didn't he, before he went out on loan to Bolton last year.
Big time. I thought the loan was going to happen to see if he could cut League One. Because I thought if he goes to League One, has a fantastic time, they'd give him a new deal. The fact they gave him a 2-year deal, sent him a loan, and it fell apart. I think there's a mistake with the club there, for most too. The club could have just given him a 1-year deal with the option to extend it for a second year if the club wanted to trigger it. I mean,
talking about mistakes from the club, then Suze have just put a comment in. The Yeovil game has been announced. Will be mainly made up of our under-21s. Then, so I wanted to get your opinion on this because I think the tickets went up for sale about a fortnight maybe before. They've then announced it's going to be an under-21s game. A lot of social media platforms and posts on social media platforms are scrutinising the club for announcing that. What's your thoughts and what's your opinions on that?
I think that's a bit of a shit move with the club in there, really. To do that and announce it's under-21s. I mean, come on. That's not on. Again, it's one of those things. We've got a massive squad. We've got a big squad. Surely you can send 5 or 6 first-team players down there as well. Play 3 each half. You can give 3 first-team players a first half. And there's so many players. Again, we got Isaac Davis who can play up top. Callum Robertson, Yusuf Salek, Atete. You're telling me all 4 of them are going to play so much football they can't go down to Yeovil to play for 45 minutes?
I don't think they come back from Spain till the Monday, do they? From Spain on the Monday, and I think there's a Yeovil game on the Tuesday. So, yeah, it's a bit. Does it surprise me? No, it doesn't. Am I disappointed? Yeah, for those that went keen and eager and purchased a ticket straight away. But then I'd also look at it and think, we were lucky enough to go to a couple of away pre-season friendlies last season. Out of those pre-season friendlies, did we see a full tilt Cardiff side? Was it a mixture of youngsters? And it was, wasn't it? So
yeah.
I kind of get it from both sides, really. But I can see why a lot of people are frustrated as well. It's just the lack of communication again from the club is poor, I think.
But that also, the side bit there as well is going to be then, does that mean then some of the other 21s are not going to go with the first team? Are any going to go with the first team to Spain for the gaffer to take a look at? You would have thought they'd been prepared better. So if they come back, say, on a Monday, on the Thursday, they're going to play the friendly against Yeovil. So I just think it's a bit, again, it's the club just poor again for the club, really. It's...
Yeah. Howell says it's about time that EFL or FA or even the government got involved to stop Sky controlling kickoff times.
I agree.
I
think the club are happy for it though, because the club means get more money, don't they? I think you get paid for every game that gets changed. Sadly, I just think our club, like most clubs, just take the money regardless. They don't care about the fans. You see with the big clubs now, most big clubs don't want the fans going back. They want it to be a one-day trip or one-game thing for foreign fans to come in, spend £300-400 on one day and never come again, rather than the fan who comes to the season ticket, watches and goes home.
Yeah. Jonathan says Peterborough and Plymouth won't have any players left at this rate. Yeah, they seem to be shipping them out pretty sharpish, don't they, Plymouth? I'm not so sure about Peterborough, to be honest. Sue's like, glad he didn't buy a ticket for that one. Joel says we've still got plenty of time. Yeah, 100%. But I think we touched upon earlier, just need to be a bit patient. But that's not a word that goes down well with Cardiff City fans, mate, I don't think. Josh, he'll know exactly what he needs and doesn't need in the current squad after these pre-season games in Spain. Yeah, 100%.
Are you disappointed with I don't want to sound disrespectful, but the standard of opposition? Like we see last year, the standard of opposition was, no offence, Kidderminster was the highest. I think until we played Reading, Kidderminster was the highest ranked side, really, we played. And
it was. I think, obviously, we discussed lots over podcasts last season about the pre-season that we had last year. We didn't think it was sufficient. We didn't think we played enough challenging teams. So I think we went into the season and we weren't fully prepared. This season, again, and it's no disrespect to the clubs that we are playing against, but I would have liked to have played against, I don't know, maybe a team coming down from the Prem or top 6 championship side. I know we're playing QPR, but, towards the end of pre-season, I would like to have played, a couple of tough teams just so it gets us in the right mindset. And, you're going to have a difficult game. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying the games that we're not going to have are not going to be difficult, because that could very well be the case. But I would have much preferred to have played at the likes of a Leicester or Southampton, that type of team.
Yeah, it's not, again, no disrespect to the teams we're playing. I mean, but Southend, a Malaysian side. I don't know Malaysian football. I can't imagine the standard football is that great. I mean, if it's too easy, not too easy, that's disrespectful. But again, if it's not challenging enough, they're not running the extra 10 yards, not making that sprint. They haven't got to make that sprint. So it doesn't affect the fitness levels. I would have thought we'd have played a Spanish team, a local side up there. I would have thought that would have happened, but sadly not. And we're coming back, and then again, another friendly that's away, that's going to be under 21s. So slightly concerned about getting fitness in the legs, because I think we've seen last year a lot of them weren't fit enough. Hopefully that's different this year.
Yeah, fingers crossed, buddy. Paul says, even though we have lost around 12 players, is it? I'm still not worried. The coach is good at what he does, so getting to see what is needed first by looking at what sure is a good thing. Graham goes on to say as well then, BBM will want to see them play in the friendlies before thinking of signing players. I think he's probably already drawn up his shortlist, I would imagine.
I think if you look at us, you'll see straight away what we need. You will need a bit of a leader. It will need pace, and I think you will be looking for like I think personally he will look for a proper number 9, as in a poacher, rather than someone to play off the shoulder of the last defender. So if Salek isn't working out in the game, you can change it up and mix it up a bit. I think he looks at stuff like that, and probably a number 6. I think he's looking at.
Yeah,
tough tackling midfielder. I think he'll have ideas, but I think he will wait until a friendly or two just to see which priority to target first. Like,
yeah, 100%. I'm glad you mentioned this, Sue, because it reminded me of the comment from earlier. Sue says, it's been said we're linked to an ex-Aston Villa player, Kyle Pierre, midfield winger, 20 years old, not sure on a free, not sure for which squad, senior or under 21s. So I'm not sure if that's the player. Somebody asked the question earlier, we linked with an experienced winger. But I've seen that name pop up earlier. I don't know too much about him myself. I don't know if you've heard of him before, Rhys.
No, much.
And I know we linked to another Irish winger, I believe. Something Davis, is it?
Warren Davis, I believe was. I think on the message yesterday did. Is there asking is there truth in it? Yeah. £100,000 from Drogheda, I think they're called. Again, it's probably going to be for the under 21s, rather the Irish lad will, rather than for the first team. I think we are quite we are quite stocked heavy in the wide positions at the minute. I think we'll see 1 or 2 go before we bring another wide man in, I think, if I'm honest to.
Yeah, agreed, buddy. John says BBM needs to ensure that any players coming in are the right ones. If that means we have to wait, then so be it. Yeah, agree with that, but agree with that. Mark Cox says, think we'll sign young under 21 academy player if Salek stays. Striker, I think you meant to say. BBM has been playing 4-1-2-3 and 3-4-3 in training setups, apparently. Interesting.
If that's the case, I'd like to know who plays the 6 then, if that makes sense. If it's a 4-1, that means you've got a defensive midfielder, shield in the back 4. I'd like to know who that is. Yeah.
I've got a funny feeling it's going to be somebody who I don't really want to see there, to be honest.
I got a feeling it's that as well. But
we've been blessed. We haven't had to get rid of our best younger players. We all know if a stupid bid comes in, Tan will cash in. And that's the thing, see, Paul. We're saying about being patient to bring people in. There's still time for people to go as well, seeing it.
I mean, I think, to be fair, I'm not defending Tanya at all, but I think every club's a selling club, and if an offer comes in that, you know, there's offers out there you look and think, we can't turn that down. We'd be silly to turn that down. I do think we need to change the way we structure deals. Again, the McGuinness deal to Luton, we structure so we see a lot of money after certain conditions being met. One of them being Luton getting promoted to the Premiership again. Yeah. And that just didn't happen, did it? They got relegated, so...
A good comment from John Ewan, one I agree with. Over the years, we've had success with twin striker partnerships. However, I'm not sure that would still work in the modern game. We need that extra midfield player. Yeah.
Yeah, you can overrun that. I think Dave Jones was ahead of his time in some regards, because when you watched him, first of all, it looked like a 4-4-2, but with Dave Jones, but with the ball, it could have 4-3-3. Like Chris Burke would come the right-hand side attacker. Witts would operate from a wide centre-left midfield position. You'd have Ray and McPhail, and it worked because the 4-3-3 meant it was sort of 4-5-1 in some regards as well. So you can't really afford to play 4-4-2 anymore. I think you do get overrun.
Yeah. Disappointed that Reindorf didn't come good background, but don't think he will play again for the full team. Still young, see, and he's still got plenty. Is he gone out on loan for the full season to Newport County?
I believe so, yeah. Again, it's great for him. I mean, I think I see a lot of comments on certain forums saying that, you know, we've signed this player for the academy, they're not good enough, or we've let this player go from the academy. You've got to think about it in terms of if we can get a player and then allow him to build himself and have a career elsewhere, it may not be at the standard we think he should be at, right? But other youngsters then see Cardiff as a pathway to get a career in football. And when you're looking at which team to sign for, it could be us or Swansea, it could be going with Cardiff have produced 10 players now play the Football League. It might be League 2, it might be League 1. but they're producing players that have a career in football. There's a better pathway for me if I go there. And we got to look at things like that. I mean, if we have a Ramsey coming through now, when he's looking at all these other academies, if he's seen us producing players, he's going to think, that's where I want to go, that's my future is. Do you know what I mean? So I have no issue if he goes to Newport, does well and stays there. I have no issue with that.
From a club point of view, at the end of the day, I think, we want him to go to Newport, bang 30 goals in for them, and then potentially come back to us. Again, he's a player that both of us watched quite a lot at the start of last season, and I think most fans were screaming for him to get his opportunity, wasn't he? But unfortunately, it didn't come. Didn't really have a successful loan out last season, I don't think. So, good young prospect. I hope he goes to Newport County and does well for him.
Yeah, that's the thing. You always want your players to do well because, again, even if he does 30 goals there, that means a League One club will probably look at him and go, if we give his Cardiff £500,000 now, and then all of a sudden that's money in our pocket. So it's just developing youngsters and help them get a career in football. That's a big thing. It's a reputation thing as well.
Yeah. I am working my way through all the comments, guys, and I will get to them as many as I can. What Paul says, what worries me is no home fixtures this season. It's preseason. It's not something that necessarily worries me. It disappoints me, really, that we've got nothing to go to watch unless we're willing to get in the car and travel for a couple of hours type of thing. I just felt that we've been a bit let down. I know that you've said there's issues around the pitch or they're working on the pitch. I haven't heard anybody officially come out and say that. But I think there was 1 or 2 games last season over on Leckwith. I think we went over to watch, didn't we?
Yeah.
So even if, we had an option to take the kids over there and watch a game, I just felt a bit disappointed that we haven't got anything to go and watch, really. But hey-ho, it is what it is. Matthew Cope, who would you like to see as the new skipper out of the players that are currently there, lads? Great question, Matthew.
This is a tough one, isn't it? Trying to think the spine of the team. Will Fisher is going to be my starting centre half, so I'd say he's a candidate. Again, I've seen the comments now where they say about Ryan Wintell has been working closely with BBM and stuff. He couldn't get a sniff in the Millwall side last year. He couldn't get near the first team, and you do worry is that because of quality? Is it attitude? You don't know. Again, if BBM thinks he can get a tune out of Wintell, maybe you need to give him the captaincy to make him mature and make him settle down and put his as a rocket up his ass. Ruben, I don't know if Ruben is the captain material. I know he's young. I just don't think. I don't think he would have added pressure to his game. I think the last thing we'll do is give him any more responsibility and pressure. Just let him enjoy his game, play his game. So I wouldn't give it to Ruben. I don't quite know though. I am stumped him in here, especially with the Dowder going as well now.
I think it all depends on who he looks to bring in. To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if Jack Annick's name's thrown about again. I'm not saying this is what I would do, but if he's still there and we haven't brought a keeper in, we've got a funny feeling it might go down that route. But I've got a funny feeling that he's going to bring in a captain, which again is probably not always ideal because you've got somebody coming brand new into the building. But sometimes it needs that perhaps a different voice maybe in the changing rooms to mix things up a bit. Yeah,
I've no issues with if it's Alnick. I think, let's be honest, I like Alnick. I think he's a decent keeper. I think he was let down at times last year by a very ropey defence. My worry is we don't strengthen the keeper position, and Alnick is injured, and we got Horvath coming back in. That's my worry. I think we do need to strengthen there. I don't know though. I don't know where the captain material is right now on that side. And that's a worry, I think, and that's been a worry we've had for a few years now.
Yeah, I know Simon has done some videos of me on potential captains and things, so have a little look back on the channel, guys, and have a little look at them. Gavin says, is there any good EFL podcasts that cover the whole league running up to the Saturday games? I'm not sure if you know any. I know that Gabriel Sutton does a lot throughout the whole EFL, and I know Simon's been on podcasts with him previously. I think I've done one with him. So yeah, check it out.
There's the Flower Hour, which is a great one. So is it not the 72? Is it not the 72 was called?
I'm not sure.
Or not the 20, something like that. The best thing to do, though, is probably every opposition we have is check out a fan podcast from every opposition. I think, again, one, they probably appreciate the views and the numbers, and two, you'd get insight into what they are thinking as well from a fan's perspective rather than from someone who just isn't in the building, if that makes sense.
Yeah, great shout. Here's a great shout from Suze. It's just a shame BBM couldn't have got a game on against Man City under 21s.
I'm hoping he's looking at one or two players from that academy because, again, it's producing. Look at that Man City team now. It is producing, so...
Yeah, fish for captain. I seen this in the group chat, I think. Perry out until January. I thought I only seen he's out for the first 5 weeks. Have I misread that? And it should be 5 months. I think that's awful. It's a long time. I thought he got injured on the first day of training, apparently, and I thought it said 5 weeks. So whether that's from... Yeah, and he'll miss the start of the season. I don't know if that's been come out more now. I don't know.
I read something about he had a hip injury and now he's finally getting an operation on it or something.
Potentially might be then. He's had that, for the last 18 months, I think. He's been nursed through that. Has he been... And that's another thing with our injury list. Should he have had that done perhaps 12, 18 months ago? Is that one of the reasons why we haven't seen the best of him?
Well, this is the thing about the criticism at the club of the communication. Because I myself was critical of NG last year. I didn't think he was up to nowhere near the standard. And he's thinking, if it was due to playing to injuries, if they come out and say, look, he's struggling right now, he's playing to injuries, he can't perform nowhere near the level he needs to, but he's dragging himself out there every week for us. Fans will be more appreciative, more understanding. I do think it's an area we have to strengthen, right back and now left back. Joel Bagan's the only recognised left back, I think, in the first team. NG's injured. I think that means Kipakia was the only player around the first team as right back. We do need to strengthen both full back positions, and we've needed to for a while now, I think.
Yeah. Comes to a good point where we can mention Callum O'Dowd as well. Gavin have just mentioned. Callum O'Dowd won't be missed as much as we think. He was a part of a team that got us into League One. If I'm going to argue against that, right? Because I think if it weren't for Callum O'Dowd, we would have been in League One by Christmas, I think. I know he's got a lot of people who like him, and there's a lot of people anti. But I thought he was a great player for us. I really liked him. Might not be the fastest player in the world, but when he had that ball at his feet, he was strong, he was direct, and he'd go at people. And I think we've lacked that so much over the last couple of years. He weren't afraid to get his head down and go. I'm not saying his final delivery was great by all stretch of the imagination, but I think if it weren't for him and he was the only player at times last season where we'd gone away at games, lost, and he'd be the only one who come over and thank the travelling support. I know you can't keep a player just for that, but I just think mentality-wise, I think he tried to do everything he could when he had that shirt on. Yeah,
I agree. I mean, he's a left winger playing left back. I think, first of all, you've stifled and taken out his best attribute was attacking. Ahead of him were El Ghazi or Willock. Neither offered much. And when he got the ball at left back, he still got past the full back, still put the balls in the box, still created chances. Every game you could see him meant something to him. Other players just walk off on the touchline, weren't bothered. He'd apologise to the fans all the time. I mean, he wore his heart on his sleeve, and I think when others were down in tools, and a lot of them got away with a lot of things last year, he ran himself into the ground every single game. He had injury, he ran through it, he'd play through it. Certain characters like that, you would just wish you had 11 of them. I think we really will miss it. Like, it's similar to the CEO. You miss that desire and determination every game, and when he went, you were looking for it anyway, and there was no one else stepping up to the mark, and I think we'll miss out on that. I really am gutted. Yeah, I don't think it's fair to say he will be missed. I think we will miss him, and I say thank you for everything he's done. I think he did care about the club. He tried his best. I think we'll miss him.
Yeah. Any news on why we ain't playing Villa for the Whittingham Cup, or was it a one-off game? Was that a one-off game during COVID, wasn't it?
So it was during COVID in November time. To be fair, Atete and Tana had both at the game of their lives. I mean, not being funny, Atete, you couldn't get the ball off Atete. He turned Tyrone Mings inside out, he did. After the end of the game, they announced the first winners of the Peter Whittingham Cup is Cardiff City. So you assume that there's going to be a second one. But after that, they just stopped all announcement, nothing, no mention of it. Absolutely nothing.
Obviously, I know when we went up to Villa Park for the FA Cup, they done a big montage on the big screen there for him. So, he's obviously still thought of when obviously the two clubs come together. Not that it happens very regularly. But yes, again, it's something I couldn't really answer that, to be honest. But it would be good if it could be like an annual thing, or like a pre-season game every season, and funds raised for that, goes towards the Peter Whittingham Foundation.
It was a great night. I mean, Villa fans, Cardiff fans there. Friendly atmosphere. I think it was like £10 a ticket. Again, you're not going to play on the first team. You could have legends play or something. It'll be a charity game. But again, they did once, and that's it. I think that's the club rubbing their hands of it now.
And even alternate so 1 year is at Cardiff, the next year is at Villa Park. Wintle is like a slightly quicker Marlon Park.
To be fair to that mind, I think when we all know Marlon Park hasn't got the legs of the Championship, but when he went to Portsmouth in League One, he was player of the season for them. He sort of played the Steve McPhail role. He sat in front of the back four, dictated play, didn't run about too much, but he controlled the ball and controlled the tempo of the game. I think Wintle is a different kind of player to that. He's more energetic. He's more of a 6, I'd say. But again, it's not the two thing maybe.
Yeah. Really hope Lola gets lots of games this season. I really hope we get a contract, get him tied down, because I don't think he's. I'm sure he's run out of contract, isn't he? Or he's coming towards the end of something. I don't think he's tied in massively. So I think we need to sort that out sharpish.
End of season, I think someone said a club came in for him a few weeks back. I think they did, just to made an inquiry. And again, if you're looking at his last year's contract as well, no, I'd love to see him in the first team more. But can you see him getting ahead of Darland, Fish, Chambers at the minute, stuff like that? It's hard to see him breaking through them players a minute. So
it is. But then when we talk about the amount of games that we've got to play, I think he's got a massive part to play. In the squad this year, to be fair.
But it's got Bagan as well coming through. You got youngsters coming through. It's probably a case of if you can get him to sign a new contract and get him a loan move with guaranteed first team football, would that be better, first team football every week, than playing the odd one in every 4 games at Cardiff? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a difficult one, because if you look, I don't know. I really like him. I think he's brilliant. I think the games he came in last year didn't look out of place at all. Thought he'd done really well in the Aston Villa Cup game. I think we were all hoping we'd see a bit more of him after the Aston Villa game, weren't we? But we didn't. But yeah, would I be disappointed if he went out on loan? Probably, just in case we do need that backup. But then, can you send him out on loan with a recall in it? Sorry, that if we do pick up injuries, then we can call him back. I'm sure that could be the case. We'll have to wait and see. Josh says 5, but he does change it to 6 in the next comment. In needed for me: right back, right wing back, dominant centre back, left or 2-footed, a 6, box to box, centre mid, a winger, and an inside forward / striker. And he goes on to say, I don't want Wintle anywhere near the armband, and Rhys will add on to that, anywhere near the 6 shirt. It'll be interesting to see if he does come back and he's in the team and in the mix for the starting, and how he's going to be taken by the fans, really, because obviously there was no love lost when they left. I think he had a bit of a bust up with fans in the Canton, didn't he? And obviously in some social media posts after Bullet got sacked and things. But again, if he performs through pre-season and he starts the league well, are we able to forgive and forget?
Yeah, it did turn a bit toxic with him and the fans, I think, towards the end of his time at Cardiff. He went to Millwall and asked my mate about him, and he said, he couldn't get either side. It was I can't think of his name now. There's they just released the player who was ahead of him as well. So the guy who was ahead of him, George Saville, he was deemed not good enough by Millwall's manager Alex Neil. I know he got rid of him, and he was ahead of Wintle. So you do think, and it's another manager who maybe didn't think enough of him. But he might come to League One. He might work with the manager now and then change his game slightly and be a different player. It's you just don't know, do you?
No. Next comment is going to be a mixed bag of opinions as well, I think. If Callum Chambers stays, could he be made captain? I think I like him a bit more than what you probably like him, to be fair.
But again, my opinion is, right, do you think he's one of our better defenders, first of all? Would you say he's one of our better defenders?
No.
Right, I don't think he's a great defender. I think he was shocking it. But then, I don't think he was that good as a 6. I think he looked better in midfield because we were so used to seeing how poor his defensive work was.
Yeah, maybe.
But the amount of times midfielders would just go past him, and Barry Bannon ran 40 yards several times unchallenged, and his role was the 6 at the climb, and you couldn't get near him, and you think, come on. I'd much prefer a proper 6, and if you do get a proper 6, again, then he's a backup player on the bench who's earning big money at the club, and probably we need to offload.
Yeah. Mark Brown says, not an armband for Wintle, a taxi would be more appropriate. Right, before I dive into the comments, obviously, if you wanted to become a member of Cardiff City World, you can by following the information on the YouTube on the Cardiff City World channel. There is also a link that you can join via acepodcastnation, the Patreon channel. I will put that link up very shortly, but Rhys reminded me there's some new members joined Cardiff City World this week, Martin Keane, and also some members have joined on Patreon. So Mactastic7 and Dylan, thank you very much for your support. If anybody does want any information about joining, it costs less than a cup of coffee a month. Any support you do give the channel is massively appreciated. It allows Simon to keep creating content 7 days a week for you guys. So thank you very much, everybody who is watching tonight, who are members. If you can, subscribe, and share all that malarkey, it does help us out.
I think you also get sent an email as well now, don't you? With a link to the WhatsApp group as well, so you can join.
Yeah, when you do, yeah.
Just make sure you introduce yourself. Let everyone know who you are when you join. Because we've had a dodgy one today already, and we.
Yeah, I had to be ruthless tonight. So apologies if you're watching and it was a genuine mistake you made. Please re-enter and explain yourself, and I might let you back in, but you might have to sing a song first, that's all. Let's get back in this. Mark says, Callum O'Dowd is a top-class professional, but on the pitch won't be missed by me. O'Dowd work ethics and influence was worth so much, though. Not much chatter about it, but reckon Chambers will be the 6 unless he's snapped up before the end of the window. I think he's one of them ones that you'd be happy if he stayed, really, but you wouldn't be disappointed if he left. Were you right to say that?
Other way around, I'd say. I think I'd be happy if he left. I wouldn't be disappointed if he stays. Yeah. But again, I want to get better. I'd want to get better though from Morsu. I think you can get better for cheaper from Morsu, and that's just one of those. Again, you might work under this manager. You've got to have trust in the manager, really. I mean, we might have seen things last year, and we can only go on what we did see last year. But the manager might be able to change him this time. I don't know. I don't think he's cut through it. Yeah,
this is a comment I know you're going to love. Not sure on that first one. To follow for left back for me, Dre Murray is available at right back.
hands down. The last 2-3 seasons I've been calling for Corey Draper to sign for us. Again, handling all sorts of shit right now. Why don't we approach him and go, you know what? You need a defender. You don't like Dramer. Give us Dramer for free and we can have Chambers for free. Straight swap.
Yeah, 100%.
Boom, done, sorted.
I'm guessing this is a Doncaster Rovers supporter. He goes on to say, thanks for your support, by the way, on my video on Cardiff. Really appreciated the like on the tweet. Can't wait to face you in Doncaster and in Cardiff next season. If you'd like to come on, maybe on our channel, maybe after the Doncaster game, you know, your home game or the away game, or you'd like to do something leading up, there's an email that's going across the bottom of the screen. You can contact us that way. If you want to come on and talk about the game leading up to it, you'd be more than welcome. So just get in touch with us via email, and I'm sure we can do something with you. But thank you very much for tuning in. If we can all support each other, then happy days.
That's something we noticed last year, I think, wasn't it? We had fans from other clubs come on, and it might have been at first a chance to just take shots at us because they beat us or something. But I think after a while, it kind of calmed down and actually joined in the chat and had, friendly. I mean, it's that we all done other clubs' podcasts for them and stuff. I mean, some of the other clubs are brilliant for it. So,
just not as good as ours. Jeff says it doesn't take much to get the Canton stand upset.
You've upset the Canton stand saying that now, Jeff.
Apparently, Wintl's got his head down and training well. Let's hope so. Bob Banks says Chambers is a 6, not a centre back. 100%, mate. Sue says she's not heard anything about Lawler signing a new contract. He was retained, but his contract has now expired, so it's up to him now, I guess. He's open to offers.
So his contract expires the end of the season coming, it does. So he's still in the contract now. He's on his last 12 months. He can't talk to other clubs without permission until January, where if he's still on his last 6 months, he can talk to clubs outside of England, so Scottish teams, everything like that he can talk to, and set a pre-contract with them he can. And if he does go to one of them, they haven't got to pay us any sort of compensation.
Gabriel Sutton reckons Wintle was unbelievable in League One, but that ship has sailed, according to Josh. Arguing with fans in the Ninian, posting about the manager getting sacked is just immature. Yeah, and disrespectful, buddy, in my opinion. I think we've discussed that, haven't we? Mark, top man, welcome in all the new members. Suze, I'm sure Simon said he was in the last 12 months of contract. Yeah, Rhys have just mentioned that. Chambers' days at Arsenal as a defender, he was very poor. Never rated him. Get rid. Yes, it's like one of them ones, as we mentioned earlier. If we can save 45 grand a year by shipping him off and getting some money, then on one of his shows, Jason Jones joined last night. Thank you very much, my friend. Much appreciated. Thanks for bringing that. So did this one. How am I saying that? Is that
McCanish, is it?
Yeah. I wonder if that's the one he said Macintosh 7, is it?
Cage 7. Yeah, all right, yeah. So size put
Mactastic 7. Is that the same one for that?
Mactastic
Very
7.
well be the same one. But we know who you are.
Yeah, you should all, like I said, you should all get an email as well with a link to the WhatsApp group. So if you do, click on it, join the group. Like I said, just introduce yourselves. We all know who you are then. It's
interesting one from Jonathan there. I think we see a different Chris Willock this season if he stays under a manager and coaches that know what they're doing.
Where do you see his best position? No, I don't think he's a winger. I don't think he's got the pace to be a winger.
No.
A 10 maybe, but Ruben's the 10. I don't know. I struggle with Willock right now. I don't quite know what his best position is.
Yeah. Which youngster would you like to see play a lot this season? Played a lot last season, and I'll start off. Kian Ashford, I thought he was outstanding at times last season. Still got lots to learn, and he'll probably be one of the first ones to tell you that. But again, he's one of them ones who never gives up, and he always tracks back and he works back. And I think the boy's got lots of potential.
for me, Isaac Davis, I think if he can get a run of games without getting injured, I think he's deadly. I think the pace, running non-stop. I think he was injured about 2-3 years ago. We played Leeds United in the FA Cup. We should have won that game. We 2-0 up and we threw it. And funny enough, the game changed when Cody Dramer came on for Leeds right back. He just changed the game completely from. But honestly, Isaac Davis, he ran our Leeds defence ragged. It was his first game back in months, and he was absolutely dangerous. He was in behind the defenders, his pace, everything, energy, he had it all. I'd love to see Isaac Davis get a lot more game time this year.
How old is Cody Dramer now, Ian?
I'd say about 22.
No, he's older than that.
I'll double check that one.
I'll guess 26.
Cody Dramer is 23 years old.
No, not far out. Not bad guess for you, but I just assumed he was older than that. He seems to have been around for a while. Obviously, we had him on loan and he's been other places. I just assumed he was older than that.
I just thought he was absolutely outstanding for us, that loan spell. Again, he came in January, he won player of the year for us. In the 6 months he was there, and he's a right back, or right wing back. He was outstanding. Killed him back.
Here's a question for you. Surprised Tommy Doyle's gone to Birmingham on loan?
I was gutted when I seen he's gone somewhere else. Again, he changed the midfield when he was with us. I'm gutted he's gone. I can see why he probably Birmingham, because I think they're going to have a big transfer window this summer. I think this is going to be a big one for them. And I think they're attracting players now that maybe they couldn't have attracted 2-3 years ago. I am gutted he's gone there, and I think Birmingham will be a team to watch out for the Championship. I would have thought he would have gone back to a Sheffield United. Someone who's going to be charged with top 2. But again, I'm just all the best to him. I wish him nothing but the best. Like, I used him and Cody Dramer as examples for my brother when I was showing him football. Like, you don't fall in love with lone players because they'll go and you'll never see them again. And it's fucking heartbreaking.
Mark Cox says, I'd like to see Eli King and Campacchio play a lot. Another one I'll add to that is Joel Colwell. Do you think either of those three will go back out on loan again for another season?
I see. This is where we got quite bloated in midfield. I think like I said, we got Wintle, Chambers, Robertson, Turnbull, Joel, Ruben, because Joel is a 10 now. His best position has been a 10 for like Cheltenham stuff. Eli King, I think one might be sold, 2 maybe, and one will go on loan, I think.
It wouldn't be a bad front line with a Salic up top, Isaac Davis on the one wing, Keir Ashford on the other, Joel Colwell just in behind. Wouldn't be against that at all, I don't think. I
mean, you could, again, give Joel a chance at 10 and put Ruben at 8 and see how they do playing with each other. Again, you can always, every 20 minutes alternate in position or something. It makes it hard to defend against when players are changing position all the time. That's why wingers used to swap all the time. So,
yeah. Pace is not as crucial in League One as it is in the Championship. Peterborough showed that fighting in relegation while Wrexham pensioners got promoted. We need players that can show a lot of passion next season. Yeah, in every game, not just for Swansea game. And obviously we're not having that this year.
Newport County, don't they? The Virtual Cup, come on.
Yeah. Daniel Tucker, I am old school, or do you think we need an experienced player in the squad, somewhere like 27 to 30, just for the knowledge and leadership? Looking forward to our team to play some attractive football. 100%, but I think it's all good and well having youngsters in the side. And I think we've talked about this on previous podcasts as well. Like Ronan Campacchio's got the ability, young Louis Giles, but it's a big step to come up from playing under 21s football straight into, Championship, League One, wherever that may be. So you got to have a mixture of experienced and youth, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Is Callum Chambers going to be that person? I don't know. I still think, me personally, they're going to bring somebody in with that experience. But who knows? But yeah, it's a good point.
I think we see it last year with Birmingham City. They built a youngish side, but they bought players like Alfie May. I think he came in just to add a bit of experience. There's 1 or 2 players in other positions. They brought in Ryan Allsop came in as well. I think just to strengthen up and add some maturity in certain areas. And again, it's one of those where if you are towards the end of your career, but you would understand your job is to help the youngsters come through rather than be the main face of the team. I just think you've got to get the right attitude in this all as well. The right attitude, the right mentality of player.
Go on, I'll let you read that one out.
Naya Kua.
Suze would like to see him involved a bit more.
Well, he was at the signing really, with the manager and the players of the day, so hopefully that's a sign that he's going to be involved in and around the first team. And again, even if it's just training with the first team, what that'll do for his development is better than just training with the under-21s every week.
Yeah. Josh goes on to say, Draymond was such a Cardiff City player, 100% heart all the time. That's all fans ask for, 100%. But
yeah, honestly, he ran non-stop up and down that wing.
Steve agrees with you, Rhys. Keep Isaac Davis fit and we would be brilliant this season. And Capacchio, we're fully over his injury. Yeah, it's a big season, I think, for young Capacchio. Obviously, he had a nasty injury last year. Kept him out for majority of the season, I think, didn't it?
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how fit he is coming back into preseason and some of the games now that we're able to watch. Fingers crossed he comes through it unscathed. Darland, we must sell him. We spent $4 million on him. Only played 20 games and done really nothing. The trouble is, I don't think we're going to sell him for anywhere near $4 million, so I don't think they will sell him.
I'm unsure on Darland, see, right? Because his first game against Swansea, he reminded me a bit of John Stones in the fact he was a ball carrying centre half. He comes out, he breaks the lines, he brings the ball forward, brings others into play. And I thought he looked really good.
And I think BBM will like that about him.
Yeah, but then he picked up his injury, right? And when he come back, it just looked like the game was a lot quicker than he could read. Like everything, he was panicking, he was slow to the ball, others were beating him there. He was getting bullied by players that shouldn't be bullying him. I just think it hit him by surprise, and I'm hoping a pre-season with the club now, toughen up a bit. He might become the centre half we need. I hope it's the case. And again, if it's one of those where you're not going to sell him for $4 million, or anyone he paid for him, we're in League One now, you may as well give him a try. And the worst case scenario, if he isn't good enough, you can drop him to the bench. And like you said, we got Bagan who can play centre half. We got, Dylan Lawlow's there right now. You got Tucson. I think he'll be gone. But there's other players there that can step up and cover if he isn't good enough, and we bring a loan in if worst case. Because you don't forget this, the transfer window doesn't end until September. So we've got a full month now of games with a chance of picking players if we need to. Do you mean? So it's not as if it's game one starts, that's it, now we can't sign no one.
Yeah, 100%. Here's another one we had on loan and apparently he's becoming available is Ryan Giles. Another one potentially that you wouldn't mind seeing back in a Cardiff City shirt?
I don't know.
I liked him. I did when he was with us. I thought he was decent.
I did. I thought he put a decent ball in the box and stuff. I thought he was more of a winger, a wide attacking player rather than a full back. I don't think he's struggling with a full back, but I don't know. Again, it depends on what the gaffer's thinking and how he sees it. Does he want some pace there rather than technical abilities? He's looking for someone a bit older to show the defence up. I don't quite know. Again, is someone who can get a return on, if that makes sense. You could sign him and then sell him on for a bit more money in the future. I mean, there's a sell on value sort of thing.
What's your opinion on this one then? Callum Patterson is a free agent.
I love Pato. I think we got very lucky with him because I always remember when we signed him, it was announced we signed a right back who was injured for 6 months. And in his first training session, Waterman goes, that lad can't defend. And you're thinking, who the fuck scouted him as right back? And we got lucky, he played brilliant as a 10. I love Pato. I loved him, honestly. I thought everything we wanted as a Cardiff player. He got stuck into every challenge. He'd run non-stop. He'd leave a foot in. Brilliant. League One, he might do a job. Again, if you can get him for a tight enough wage, I mean, I won't be too angry if he's off the bench coming on the games. If he's trying to see the game out to 1-0, bring him on, he'll hold the ball up, he'll bully defenders, he'll run someone ragged. So I won't be against it if he could come back.
Will he be under the... Obviously, Sheffield Wednesday now got this thing. Would he be able to walk away from his contract? I don't know the ins and outs of and everything that's going on here, mind.
So I believe he was one of the players out of contract anyway, I think. But yeah, if they have been paid for so long, they can walk. And there's no compensation that has to be owed or nothing. So he'll be one of them. Same with Barry Bannon and stuff. They can all walk.
I seen something about Barry Bannon and another player, and they said they'd refuse to take any wages until all the club staff had been paid.
Yeah, well, so I think one of the things I read was Sheffield Wednesday ensured that the players that had a value to them were paid, so they couldn't walk, and anyone they didn't value wasn't paid, so they could walk, which is disgusting when you think of it. How they feel how things are going to happen is a joke.
Mad Dog 2020, Callum Pato.
Can you remember the Halloween party thing they did? I think it was Halloween party or fancy dress, and he went as like an 80s porn star cop. He did short shorts, a big thick moustache, and the sunglasses.
Oh, I think we could probably do an old podcast on this question. And is considering his fight past 11, I think we'll start wrapping up. So we'll keep this one short. Best position for Ruben, but
for me, he's a 10, but he's got to work on his game.
Yeah, we leave her there. I agree with you. Thoughts on the away kit and Blue Worm? I'm glad the Blue Worm is back. I'm not fussed on the away kit, I'll be honest. I haven't seen it. Obviously, I've only seen images of it, but it's not bowling me over at all. I
think it's disgusting. They brought the worm back. I think that's ridiculous, and they've made it blue as if to say, "There we are. Are you all happy now?" It just comes across as a slap in the face, doesn't it? Get rid of the fucking worm altogether. Like, just go back to the 125th year badge, that blue bird. We all loved it. Again, it's fucking ridiculous. Honestly.
Rhys, can we get a Lady Gaga paparazzi BBM rendition? I'm your biggest fan. Josh, I'm not sure if you're in our WhatsApp group or if you're a member. If you're a member, get in the WhatsApp group and recommend it. If you're not a member, become a member, get in the WhatsApp group, and then he'll do it. The traffic jam leaving Oasis gig is huge for the second night running. Crazy traffic with non-stop horn blasts. It did look amazing. I've seen some of the videos. In fairness, it did look amazing. Fair play.
Have you seen the stuff on social media? They've got like Swansea lads out in Cardiff drinking.
Yeah.
And it's just a bunch of people who live in the Swansea postcode, that's all. Ridiculous stuff.
Right, we're going to start wrapping up. I think we're coming towards the end of the comments. I think Bob Banks says sign Patterson up now. Exactly what we need in League One. Be back up to Salih. Barry Bannon be good for us, knowing us. Wednesday, go and sign him and his legs would be gone. Jeff Dela Cruz loved Patterson, but you should never sign history. Jonathan says Patterson is a free agent. His goal scoring knack was underrated.
Yeah, it was.
Popped up with a goal when we needed it.
Late runs in the box as well, quite a few of them. He was very smart with his positional awareness and his intelligence on the pitch was underrated, underappreciated.
Yeah. Bannon's got to be getting out. What's he now, mid-30s?
Oh, fucking hell. Honestly, I'm not being funny, right? But I'm surprised his legs have lasted. His hair's lasted longer than his legs. And that's surprising. Like, honestly, but he runs things for Sheffield Wednesday. But you just know if we did sign him, his legs would be totally gone and he wouldn't have anything about him.
Sheffield Wednesday had 2 weeks to pay salary or they could leave. Yeah, I think I seen something in the week saying that it hadn't been paid. I think it was because they defaulted twice. Cardiff City till I die. When we had that red badge in 2012 with the red shirt, it had 3 words on it: fire and passion. Search up the fire in Welsh.
I didn't. The red era, I boycotted. I couldn't. It wasn't my club. I don't recognise that first year in the Premier League. That never happened for us. I'm sorry. And this badge is just a slap in the face, I think, really. Josh
is going to become a member, so you better start working on your vocals because he wants that paparazzi rendition. So,
well, since that's paying us, yeah, maybe you will.
I did see that. There's a Black Sabbath gig on today as well. Great. But I got Oasis. Aussie is on. When is Mr. Carlin making his second debut? he'll be back at some point, no doubt. Josh says, cheers, chaps. Nice to have the 1927 back. We're back, and we're back with a vengeance. I am going on holidays in a couple of weeks or so. Fair play to Evan. Evan's come into it, and he's kind of stepped in to fill my boots, and he's done a great job. So do appreciate Evan stepping in. But I'm back for a couple of weeks, and then I'm off on holidays for 2 weeks. So might even have Wi-Fi out there, so I might even be able to tune in. But I'll say
I managed in Spain, so come on.
I'm saying it quite, yeah, but you haven't got a wife and 3 kids, have you?
I got a drinking habit, though. I cut into that.
Rob's on the transfer list. On the free transfer list, he is, Gray. So if there's anybody out there want to take him on. 4 songs, Aussie. Cheers, lads, in chat. What's Jonathan? Finished too early, 6 hours left. Hey, we've done well for it. I had to talk for an hour and 11 minutes, buddy.
We start again, Jonathan. It's another hour in it then.
Bannon is 35, according to Suze. He must have had a difficult paper round because he does look older than that.
Fucking hell. Surprised I haven't been to Turkey yet with that head, honestly. Like, generally, his legs have lasted longer than his hair have, and it's other way around, actually. It's wild.
Everybody now saying Tan is fire in Welsh. That it is. Susie says Metallica next year. Everybody saying Tan is fire in Welsh. Great video. Really enjoyed it. Top boys. Top man, and thank you for becoming a member, buddy. Much appreciated. 100%. I'm not counting the days down, honest. Yeah, we try to do our best for you guys. We're not professionals. We just jump on and talk shit because we enjoy talking shit.
Exactly.
I'm allowed to say that now. It's 11:10, nearly 11:15, so bugger it. But no, loads of interaction tonight, guys. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Simon will be back. I'll keep an eye out on the socials for what's coming next. But me and Rhys will be back next Saturday. Have Cardiff got a game Wednesday, Saturday? So we should potentially have 2 games to have a chat about.
I'll check for 2 seconds. I know
Wednesday is that...
Yeah, Wednesday
when are they playing
is that... Sorry, go on.
When are they playing Southend? Is that on the 12th, is it? That'll be next Saturday.
Trying to check now.
So the 9th and the 12th they're playing?
Something like that. I've done the website now. I'm trying to find out. Yeah, so the 12th at... What's that? So is that 6 o'clock on Wednesday? 6 o'clock on Saturday?
7 o'clock. 7 o'clock our time.
Oh, is it? Right, so 7 o'clock our time, man. And then it's Notts County then is the last pre-season friendly. So 3 friendlies really for the first team. It's a bit strange, but yeah. So I'll tune into them games. I'll watch them. So we'll have something to talk about next week.
So we'll review them next week. I don't know where this is.
Mark Goldbridge.
Don't even know what that is. But
I don't know. I'm not quite sure what's going on there.
Right. No Star Pub. Thank you very much for tuning in. Much appreciated. No Star.